Emmaus was started by the Jesuits at the request of Bishop Dingman, and they chose to name Emmaus as it is after the gospel story in Luke's gospel about the disciples on the road to Emmaus who were in conversation with Jesus, about Jesus, but not recognizing him. The work of Emmaus, the work of spiritual direction, is to help people recognize not just the Christ who is before them or beside them, but especially within them.
I find my eyes are opened in spiritual direction to ways of behaving that maybe I'd like to work on, somebody to hold me accountable for practices that I'd like to take on in my life, and just the caring that comes with the companioning of someone with you.
I actually started to work with Father Dan Creddick, the co-director of the Emmaus House, in meeting with him in searching out the answers to some of the questions that were within me that eventually led to other questions, and that tuned me into what the Spirit was really asking of me on a go-forward basis. And that profound experience has really transformed my life in a number of different ways that I'm eternally grateful for.
What I really find here is a sense of community and intimacy. The Mass is usually attended by 10 to 15 people, and in this kind of small group it's easy to get to know other people, which I have. Been out to lunch with about half of the regular attendees, and we have a dialogue homily, and so it's something I learn a lot from by hearing other people and their efforts to understand the text of the day and understand what God is asking of them. So it's just a very warm and inviting group, and it's a place where one can grow pretty easily.
Felt this needed. There was something missing. Personally, professionally, something was just missing, and I needed something more. And so my parish priest, I was looking for spiritual direction, thinking that would be a good answer, and my parish priest referred me to Father Dan Creddick here at the Emmaus, and that's how I got started, about a couple years ago.
But when I was seeking a spiritual director, this was the first place that I looked at within the diocese in the Des Moines area. People that I admire were coming here for Mass and seemed to be growing in their faith in ways that interested me, and I felt like it was because of a connection here.
I was in a period of my life that I was going through a transformation, and I had the opportunity to extend my spiritual life, my religious life, beyond my local parish, and had the opportunity to walk through the doors of the Emmaus House to attend Mass on a daily basis on Tuesdays and Fridays, and found the experience to be extremely joyful and brought a new sense of purpose and appreciation for the Mass.
Emmaus House offers, it's a sacred trust. There's confidence here, there's compassion, there's love, there's challenge. There's hope. I mean, all of those things together have made me a better person.
So it's a very intimate setting. We get to know each other and each other's thoughts, and it's a very warm and welcoming group. Being
involved, I was a doer, and I'm transitioning to being in God's love, being who God created me to be, just relaxing, which is a big challenge.
Being a house, as our ministry has grown, as our opportunities to reach people, especially through the Ignatian spiritual exercises in everyday life, different things that we've done here, just a simple potluck. There's no place to put everyone. Even when I was doing presentations or like days of reflection, or I do staff retreats, and when it comes to lunch, part of the staff has to eat at the dining room table, part of the staff has to go to the small dining room table or sit at TV trays. So it's a limiting thing. So the understanding that if we could have a place that wasn't a designated dining room or a place that could accommodate more people. Yes, the open space where we could spread out more. The other thing is we always have to limit it to 12 to 15 people max, because we normally would meet for the presentations in the chapel that'll hold at the most 15 people, and that's pushing it. If we were in a place that had open space that was adaptable to whatever size groups we have, it would make a huge difference in reaching more people. For one thing, that there was a lot of steps going inside the house, a lot of steps in the house. It was not handicapped accessible, and it was hard for people to be able, several of the older people that had been coming to Emmaus for years had to quit coming to Mass, had to quit coming here for direction, that Father Dan was having to go to their house, meet with them someplace else, because they could no longer manage the steps.
And so the process of spiritual direction, as it is done in the Ignatian tradition and here at Emmaus, is to help people listen to their hearts, which is something that a lot of people are not real familiar with or experienced in. We listen to the Bible rightly, we listen to the church, we listen to others, seeking God out there, but the whole while God is within us. And so again, the ministry of spiritual direction is to help people listen to their hearts, to recognize the presence, the action of Christ who's there all the while.
Our busy world with all of our communication tools that constantly keep us tied to society, a day of quiet reflection on the gifts that have been given to you and the things that you would like to change in your life is afforded to you through the Emmaus House and the rooms that they have there for that. And that experience has probably been another significant transformative process that I have had the opportunity to receive from the Emmaus House.
I was external and now I'm internal. Even though that internal, looking inward and finding those things that were in the way of my relationship with God has allowed me to give more effectively outward. I am a much better Catholic today. And I'm not saying I have the catechism memorized. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm a disciple. I'm, very much an empowered disciple. And I realize what that's all about.
Well, I'm very grateful for the fact that the Emmaus House is here. That's the main thing. I have a real sense of gratitude for the existence of the Emmaus House.
As Emmaus undertakes this capital campaign, we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to Bishop Pates for his not just support, but also his guidance, his wisdom all the way along the way from the very beginning to the present. And he has given us some great ideas on how to go about identifying and articulating what we see as the future and possibilities for Emmaus into the future. And as I say, he's been a tremendous support and guidance for us in the whole process. And he has expressed his own support in a number of different ways. And here I quote from a letter by Bishop Pates. "My heartfelt thanks to Emmaus House in furthering for our times the vision of Bishop Dingman and the Jesuit founders of this spiritual powerhouse.